A lot of you are searching for what is a JV partner real estate. Crazy Google doesn't make sense sometimes. But let me ask you this. How do you actually leverage a JV partner? What is it? And how can you use it to further your success? Let's go. Hey there, my name is Mike Fritz. I'm the founder of Titanium Capital Investments in the multifamily CEO system. My greatest passion is helping people just like you invest in real estate to create financial freedom. And in this video, I'm going to explain what a JV is and how you can leverage it to build your portfolio faster. But stick around to the end because I'm going to give you a bonus tip that's going to help you protect your assets. Let's go. The first thing you have to understand, JV stands for joint venture. It's the idea that two or more people partner on a project that bring different value sets. Sometimes they bring the same value, sometimes they bring money, sometimes they bring all kinds of different aspects of a deal, but a JV partnership is a great way to build a portfolio quickly. The first tip in building a joint venture is to make sure all of the partners actually bring value to the group. I can't tell you how many times I see people build JV partnerships with friends because they love hanging out and they love having a beer with somebody, but it's not really a great partner for the deal you're looking at. So don't build JV partnerships based on your friends and who you love to have dinner with. Build JV partnerships based on who brings value to a deal and who can really add value to see this deal be successful. There's really three different sets of value in real estate to build a joint venture. The first one is money. Very easy, but people can bring money to invest in a deal. So some people will bring money. They may not know anything about multifamily real estate. They may not know anything about storage units or mobile home parks or whatever investment we're doing, but they have capital and they love to be part of this deal. So that's a huge piece of value that can bring us to the finish line, even if they don't know anything necessarily about real estate. The other thing they can do in the money category is help you qualify for a loan. Some JV partners are great loan partners. They have great credit and they have great personal financial statements and they can really help you get the loan for the project. That's a really valuable JV partner that brings a lot of value to a deal. A lot of times, the bigger these deals get, the harder the loans are to get. And the more people we have there guaranteeing that loan, the easier that loan is going to be to get. So the first way a JV partner can bring value is through money. The second way is through deals. One of the partners can actually bring the deal we're looking at. So let's say you and I have money, but we know a third person that actually has the deal. All three of us could partner together and do that project because all three of us bring a specific set of value, and we're bringing this third partner in because they have a specific deal we'd love to invest in and create a joint venture agreement. Or even the deal finder may know of brokers that can continue to feed him or her deals. So maybe they don't just have one deal, but they have lots of deals. So we could partner with them over and over again. So it's not just the idea that they have a deal. Maybe they're actually what we call a chicken in the industry where they're not just an egg. They can keep creating deals because they have leads on deals. So having a person like that on your team, especially in inventory short markets, are one of the most powerful people to have. The third thing is operations. Operations is the person who day to day is actually going to lead the property, or somebody that has operational know-how. They don't necessarily have to be the person collecting rent, but they understand the process. This is the role I play a lot in our partnerships. I have the deals and I have the operational knowledge. I know how to find property managers and I know how to lead them in order to bring our properties to success. So a lot of people that have capital want in our deals because I have a lot of experience in that category. And for you, as you're building your JV partners, think about those three areas. If somebody's at the table asking them, do they have deals? Do they have money, or do they have the operational know-how and background? If they don't have one of those three things, we have to start asking, is there real value in having them at the table? The other thing in the operational category is maybe they already have a team set up. For example, we bring investors into our deals in cities that I've already built the teams. I have the lender, I have the real estate broker, and I have the attorney, and I have the property manager. I have everybody we need to buy as much real estate as we want inside that city. Because I've built that system, I essentially get to take that system and sell it to other joint venture partners who have the money and have the teams, and now they can leverage my already built team. So I become an asset to the table because I have an already built team in place that's been vetted, tried, and creates success in all of our deals. The second thing you want to understand when you're building a joint venture is make sure everybody has the same exit strategy. When you buy a piece of real estate, there's something called an exit strategy. The idea is begin with the end in mind. We're buying this property to do what with it? Are we buying it to fix it and sell it? Are we buying it to fix it and hold it for 2 to 3 years and then sell it? Own it for a few years and then refinance our money out and go get another investment? What is the exit strategy we plan on leveraging to bring this property to success? Because if one person wants to refinance and hold it long term for eternity, that is way different for somebody that wants to stabilize that property and sell it to another investor, realizing all their capital and then moving on to the next deal. Those are two very different missions and exit strategies. In fact, that's one of the things I look at the most after I see who's bringing value to the table. I make sure their exit strategy matches mine. Because if we have different exit strategies, that's going to create a huge friction down the road when we decide what to do with this property, and it could create a decision lock where we can't really do anything with the property because there's disagreement amongst the JV members. It's essentially the prenuptial agreement of a joint venture agreement. It's the idea that if things go south, what happens? What are we actually going to do at the end of this project? By laying that out on the front end, you alleviate a lot of problems and questions on the back end. Before I go on to the next tip, make sure you subscribe to the channel and also hit that bell notification so you're notified every time we put out a brand new video. The third thing you want to do when you create a joint venture agreement is clearly, and I mean clearly, define the roles. You want to clearly define who's doing what and what happens if they don't perform what they're doing. What actually happens if somebody says, I'll operate the property, and all of a sudden you find out there's a ton of vacancies and no money's coming in? We have to set this up ahead of time. Now let me tell you, you alleviate a lot of these problems by the joint venture partners you choose. I have a lot of joint venture partners that I work with, but I can tell you this, we don't have a lot of these problems because we highly vet the people we partner with on the front end. We don't just partner with anybody we meet. We have to know them for a while, sometimes years, before we let them into a joint venture, because we want to make sure that they're not just somebody looking to make a buck, but they match our mission, they match our vision, and they match what we're really trying to do in real estate. So on the front end, you want to clearly define roles of who's bringing money, who's bringing operational know-how, who's going to be on the loan, who has the deal, and the list goes on and on. Make sure you define those roles before you ever sign an agreement. The fourth thing you want to do is choose a managing member. A managing member is somebody that really leads the LLC or leads the joint venture, because here's the thing. If you have 5 partners that each have 20%, you can do a majority vote. But what if you have 4 partners that each have 25% and you have 2 vote one way and 2 vote the other way? Who is the actual deciding or managing member? So in all of our JV partnerships, I am the sole member that makes decisions for the joint venture. Now why? Because I have the most experience in the industry. I protect our investors and protect our partners by making sure I'm the only one that can make a decision on if we sell or refinance. A lot of joint ventures go bad because on the front end, this stuff isn't laid out. You have to lay this stuff out and make sure you pick a managing member and actually create an agreement that outlines these roles clearly so you know exactly what's going on and know exactly who the tiebreaker vote is if you get in a locked decision. The fifth thing you do is you hire an attorney and create an OA, or an operating agreement. An operating agreement is what lays all this stuff out I've been talking about. It lays out who the managing members are, how much percentage each owner has, how much money each person's putting into the deal, who's managing the deal, who's the managing member, who makes decisions. It lays all of this out. A good attorney has a template that can put your names in, shift a few things around, and have an operating agreement that matches what you're trying to do in your joint venture. I would not create a joint venture without having an operating agreement. And as a side note, with the operating agreement, you're obviously going to want to create an LLC for the property you create. You're going to want an LLC for anything you're doing inside of a joint venture so that business owns that and you own part of the business so that people are protected personally. Because if you own a property and somebody slips and falls on that property, they can sue and go after your personal assets if it's not covered and protected inside an LLC. Here's a power and bonus tip for you. When you create your LLC, especially if you own multifamily real estate, register that LLC in Wyoming. It has the best protection against multifamily real estate owners than any other state in the country. I also have a free gift for you today. If you click the link below, I want to give you my free multifamily masterclass. It's a masterclass that compiles all of my life experience and how to get a piece of multifamily real estate. But this training is meant to cut the speed down. I want to help you get it in 71 days or less. Click that link in the description. It'll take you to the training, and I'll see you there.